Hi, so in this video I want to share with you how I was able to make nearly $3,000 this month trading options. So this video is just going to show you proof of what I did. I'm going to show you on my home screen my investment account, and you're going to see how much money accumulated. And you're going to see like the positions that I was in and like the stocks and ETFs that I was playing with. This video is not really going to be me teaching you anything. It's going to be more so like showing proof that I made money and the strategies that I used to make this much amount. But before we get into the video, I should always point this out. It's a disclaimer here. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I in any way a financial expert. This is just the things that I learned through basically Google and YouTube. Whatever I put out into this video is just purely for entertainment purposes. So this is just what I do. I don't recommend you do everything that I do. And I'm only responsible for myself. So I'm only responsible for the actions that I take and possibly the money that I lose. I'm not responsible for your outcome and how much money you might lose. Investing and trading in general will always have risks, especially with options trading. So like do your own due diligence before you start doing these. Don't listen to me if you have like no idea what you're doing and you can't like handle the risk. Okay, so that's all I want to point out. Disclaimer's done. Now let's get into the video. So I'm going to open up my Fidelity account that I use for trading, and it's going to show the previous month of July 2021. And you're going to see all the history of that, and again, how much money, what positions, and the strategies that I used. Here's my current home screen. Now I'm going to go into my actual investment trading account. Like I'm not going to touch my Roth IRA or rollover IRAs. So this is the account that I use mostly for trading. I'm going to click on activity and orders. And then right now I'm under the history tab. So right now you can see basically everything that I've done in the past. Right now it's currently August 9. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the beginning of my first trade in July. So July 2nd was when I had my first trading. So from July 2nd up until July 30, technically was like the last activity I had for the whole month. Just to make it easier for you guys, I was able to make this into a spreadsheet. So here on my Fidelity is all the history, but I went out and like made my own Excel sheet that basically summarized everything I needed for the month. And I like to keep separate tabs. So this is for July. Notice how I have June, May, and so on. So previous months too, but I just want to showcase this month. This is like the most I've made this month or this entire year. So probably this is like a good time for me to show off because I made the most during this month. Okay, so let's look into detail what I've been doing. So let's go on July 2nd, the first time. Reading it out loud, it says, you sold opening transaction, call SPY, July 7. Again, I'm not trying to make this video like a teaching thing, so you have to understand the lingo later on, or I'll be teaching that later on in future videos. So on July 2nd, I made basically two things. I sold an opening and I bought an opening call at the same time. So this strategy is called a credit spread. So I opened up a credit spread on SPY. And I just want to quickly go through like most of the strategies that I use. It's really just opening credit spreads and opening cash secured puts. So you'll see the cash secured put that I opened was, for example, SPLG on the 15th. So I sold opening put SPLG. So I sold a cash secured put on ticker symbol SPLG. And that's really most of the trading strategies I've been doing. It's just credit spreads and cash secured puts. It could either be a call credit spread or a put credit spread. And again, I summarized everything into this Excel sheet. So notice how basically how much I got paid for each position that I opened. I opened it on this day. So date executed it was the day that I opened that position. I opened this call credit spread on July 2nd and it expires in 5 days on July 7th. For that position that I opened, I received a payment amount of $106.29, minus all the fees and whatever they collect. So just for opening that thing, I was able to receive $106 on that day on July 2nd, and all I had to do basically was wait it out until hopefully it expired. And then again on July 12th, I opened up another position, another call credit spread on SPY, and I received $23 on that. And so again and again, I would open up these credit spreads. Then later on July 12th again, I sold to open a put on Palantir, PLTR, and received $47.32 from that. So right now you don't see that much. You do see like maybe $20, $100 here and there. So now you're probably just wondering how was I able to get like 3,000? Like these are just a few bucks. There's no way it can reach thousands yet. It hasn't even reached $1,000 yet. So now let's go to the big monster here that actually made me accumulate the most. When I sold to open a put on ticker symbol TQQQ, I received $989.31 for that position alone. The thing about this one is that even though I received a lot of money, it is very far out into the future, so it'll expire on December 21st. So I don't know what will happen by then. It could go up, it can go down. Regardless, I received $900, almost $1,000 for this one position. And if by some miraculous thing, by December 2021, it is not at that price of 101, then I will receive the full amount and the initial collateral cash that I used to set up this position. So not only will I receive $1,000, which I already did on July 15, but I will also receive back my $10,100 initial investment, as you say. So this cash secured put strategy that I like to use a lot, it's almost like a savings account. You put in $10,000, you're gonna wait some time anyway. You don't expect to really use that money. So you just put it in and set it aside, and then you receive almost 10%. So receiving $1,000 from initial $10,000 investment, that's 10%. So I almost technically already beat the S&P 500 if the S&P 500 gains an annual percent of 7 to 10% every single year. I made 10% in 6 months. From July to December, that's about, say, 6 months. I already received that much just sitting there in cash. I don't really want to go through all of them because you can clearly see here on this chart. One for Palantir, getting $40-ish. UPRO is another one that I like to do a lot because these are leveraged ETFs. So ETFs, because the market usually goes up, I don't expect it to reach that strike price. So I'm always really going to collect the premium. And then if I do ever get assigned, if the market keeps going up, then it'll just eventually, I can start selling covered calls and then, get back what I lost. So the best thing about this strategy is just collecting the premium. And these premiums are hundreds of dollars. They're $400, $900 each time I do this because they're leveraged ETFs. Again, doing this strategy, I had to bring up my disclaimer. You should not be doing this if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or you can't handle the risk. So if it does crash, expect it to be leveraged crash because you are going to be taking in a large hit if it does crash. I don't expect it to go to zero because it is the market. Unless everything burns down, then there's probably other things to worry about than the stock market. But even so, because of these leveraged ETFs, then I really enjoy doing this because you're getting so much money from doing it. And in the long run, you expect it to go up. And so again, I had another position with TQQQ, and that was another $959. So just this month alone, I was able to make almost $2,000 just from 2 positions of TQQQ. Now the thing that you do have to understand is that you are tying up your money for as long as this expiration date. Meaning if you put in $10,000 right now, you must wait until it expires, or you could buy it off early, but you basically have to wait until it expires to get back your money. So if you put in $10,000 for this position, like I did right now, the strike price of $102, then you're not going to see that $102 until December 2021. So if you're going to do these strategies, make sure that you don't need the money right away because you're going to pay to close this position, or if you ever need the money, you'll say, I can't give it to you because it's locked up in some stock options. So for me, why I do these cash secured puts is that because I don't need the money right away. I am able to save, I still have a job, so I have consistent income from my job, and for the most part, putting it into a high yield savings account, it's not going to give that much at all. It only gives, for example, 0.5% currently as of right now with Marcus. So I'm only getting $5 for every month of every $10,000 I'm putting in. Why would I want to receive $5 when I can get almost $1,000 from just doing the strategy? So you can see why I love selling cash secured puts. Now the other thing I do is credit spreads. They're either call credit spreads or put credit spreads. So again, there are 2 different types. I do call credit spreads on SPY when I think that it's really high. Now I don't recommend you do this because I don't really put much thought into this, but this is what I do. So I open these call credit spreads on stocks or ETFs that jump up 20% in one day. So for example, if I currently go on to finance.yahoo.com, I'm gonna see stocks gainers and stocks losers. So when I see a stock that jumps up 20% in one day, so for example, BNTX, this is a recent one that I just found out. If it jumps up 15%, 10 to 20% within one day, then I think that it is very overvalued, meaning it can't go any higher. Normally this could be like some emotionally driven stock, so going from, let's say, like 5 days or maybe 1 month ago, yes, it's been going up, but it hasn't been going up like drastically like that. You know, it goes up steadily. But then once one day, one good news happens, it jumps up 20% in one day, I don't think that it'll sustainably keep that price. Normally when it jumps up like 20%, the next day it's usually a sell-off. So what I like to do is, you know, jump in, jump out as quickly as I can. So when it jumps up 20%, I would receive the money. The next day, as it falls down and starts selling off, lowers the price, then I could jump out. So this is what you would call like scalping. And the opposite is true when I do for put credit spreads. So when something goes down really, really low, 20% in one day, and I know it's a company that's actually really good, then I would just buy that dip. Normally when it sells off like 20% in one day, it would jump back up again the next day because people realize, oh no, this is still a good stock. Like, why would I sell off Visa or like Costco or Walmart or Microsoft? These are pretty big companies, but just because it doesn't meet your expectation for one day doesn't mean that it's not a good thing in the long run. For the most part, these are just my strategies, just selling cash secured puts and credit spreads. You need to have capital to do this, and for the most part, you need to have a strong stomach to handle the emotional like fluctuations of everyday day. For the most part, cash secured puts are the most secure for me because if you do get assigned, it's because I want it. Like, I legit want to buy these stocks or ETFs at a certain price, at, you know, whatever price I'm comfortable with paying. So right now, if it's like $100, I think it's overpriced, I want to buy it at 95, then I might as well sell to open a put at $95 for that stock because I don't want to buy it at $100. I want to buy it at 95 and actually get paid to buy it. You know, this is like a win-win situation because you want to buy it overall, but you don't want to buy it at the full price. You want to buy it at a discount, and someone is legit going to pay you to buy it at a discount. And me opening up these credit spreads are, say, more risky because you are locking in that money. And if that, you know, if the strike price does happen to go past your point, your first leg, then you are assigned and you will lose, you know, the difference in it. That's the most like teaching thing you'll hear from this video. But if this video doesn't make sense, it's fine. I will do like a teaching video in the future. But this video is really just to show proof of my positions and how I was able to make nearly $3,000 this month. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is just my positions, my strategies, the way I'm thinking. It's probably not the best and the most stable and like even the most like conceptually understanding strategy to use out there, but this is just what I do and it does somehow work. I know one day it might come back to bite me in the butt, but right now it's working, so I'm not too scared about it. Okay, that's all I have for the video. I'll see you in the next few videos in the future. Goodbye.